Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is your first and final warning. If you'd like to keep your head, please turn off this podcast now.
Keep your head?
Keep their head. You never heard that term of phrase? You aren't insane if you keep your head?
Yeah, I've heard that, but that's kind of putting yourself down there.
Down where?
Putting yourself down by saying that they're going to go crazy by listening to your voice.
Oh, no. Insanity could be a beneficial thing to many people, I feel like.
Okay, yeah.
You never know.
You never know.
Nonetheless, here on Comics Covered, other than the philosophies of insane people to sane people, we talk about comics. For the week of August 7, 2019, episode 85. Lots.
That's a lot of episodes.
It's a decent amount.
Look at that.
Oh, yes. Look at it. Look at every single one of them.
They should.
They should. Here on Comics Covered, I already talked about this. We talk about comic books and the world around them. The comics industry, the movies, the TV, the games. We talk spoilers, and we'll warn you about them. I'm Jack. I'm still quite newish to comics compared to many people in the world. Though I guess I'll be new compared to most people that are into comics always.
Yeah.
Unless they start dying off, I guess.
Or you just start reading every second of your life and reading much more than they've ever read, which is going to take a long, long time.
What if I start reading negative comics? So I start, becoming newer.
Oh. I think that's memory loss.
Oh, that's it. Okay. Who are you?
I'm Samantha. I'm new, but I'm reading at a very fast pace. As fast as I can go. But, yeah. It's fun. It's a good time.
Samantha, we used to do this segment on the week when we talked about our week, and we can't really do that together. But I was just wondering if, while you were reading at any point this week, did you have any thoughts about characters I wonder what they would do in this situation?
No. I think mostly there was a comic book that came back that I was very excited about. So, and when we met the writer, I was very happy, so it made me doubly excited to read this. Okay,
very cool. Well, we'll get into that in a little bit.
Yes.
Samantha, do you want to talk about some of our weekly comics?
Yeah, where are they?
They're down here.
All right.
The horns were going just now.
Yes.
So that was going over us, so I don't even know if they heard us.
Oh, wow.
Mumbling. Samantha, we had a decent amount of books this past week. A lot of exciting ones. Do you want to say which ones we had?
Yes. We had Absolute Carnage #1. Very exciting. Baby Teeth #15. The one I was mentioning I was super excited about. Berserker Unbound #1. Daredevil #1. Number 1.
Sorry, that was a misdone.
Not number 1.
It is number 9, 8 or 9. It's one of those.
One of those. Deceased #4. Die #6. Happy that's back.
Mm-hmm.
House of X #2. Immortal Hulk #22. Oh, and we're going to talk about Powers of 10 from
as well. Yeah.
The previous week.
Yeah.
Immortal Hulk #22. Invisible Woman #2. Justice League #29. Space Bandits #2. The Green Lantern #10, and you had...
Oh, and I read Doom Patrol #2, The Weight of the Worlds.
Ooh.
It's great. So here's your spoiler warning. I get to give it today.
Okay, do it.
Spoiler warning that
Ready.
we give every single week.
That was... Okay. That was pretty lame, actually.
That's the spoiler warning that we give every week, so I don't know what you're talking about.
All right.
Samantha.
Yeah?
We didn't get to talk about anything last week, so I really want to talk about right now House of X #2 and Powers of 10 #1.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very linked together.
Yes.
Just, as they are. Jonathan Hickman still giving us great work on X-Men. And, Samantha, what do you think about this?
It's, I love Jonathan Hickman and the stuff that I've read of his so far. And I do really enjoy this, but it's a lot. It really is a lot. Most of the time when I read the issues during the week, I read it after I eat, so I just take a little walk and read it. And I feel like this book you cannot really do that with. You have to sit down, have your arms up, your legs up, be have a blanket on, like, be, like, legit ready to take in a ton of fucking information. Like, you have to, have eaten already. Don't do it on an empty stomach. You don't do that. You need to eat those blueberries.
Yes.
Get your brain working, because you got to take in a lot.
Yeah.
So, I might have read a few things, like, over and over to try and be like, wait, what did I just read?
Yeah.
Yeah, but overall, I thoroughly enjoyed House of X 1 and 2. Powers of 10 was good, but a bit difficult for me.
Yeah. Why was that? What can you give us a little rundown on everything he's been doing, Jonathan Hickman? Like the sort of setup for the series?
That's hard. No.
No?
No.
Okay. The setup for the series is the X-Men have, gotten themselves a piece of land on the planet Earth, and they are forcibly taking it. And basically, everything that's happening in Powers of 10 seems to be trying to explain what happens in this timeline where the X-Men do this thing and take this, part of the land. Like, I don't know. I feel like we learn a lot more about what Powers of 10 says after reading House of X number 2. Because I was super confused after reading Powers of 10, because I was like, okay, that's cool. All this stuff is a lot of information, and that's cool, but I want there to be some sort of tie into what relevance this has to my enjoyment. Because, like, I love hearing the world building and all the information, and it's really, really cool and gripping. But if it doesn't have, like, a story reason,
then there's nothing to hang on to, really.
Exactly.
I feel like you need that story tie-in.
Mm-hmm.
So
then with House of X number 2, can you tell us about what that sort of...
Well, wasn't it the life of, what's her name, Taggart?
Moira McTaggart.
Close. Moira McTaggart. No, I really liked it, because it was just explaining, like, her ability and living 10 different lives. And I don't know, the way that they described her was just very human, even though she's a mutant. And yeah, I don't know.
You know what's a funny thing that I learned is that Moira McTaggart... So, I've heard of Moira McTaggart, like, in passing.
Where have you heard that name?
Well, she makes a brief appearance. Actually, she's a character in the only X-Men film you've seen, Age of Apocalypse.
Right.
Right. She is, like, more often... Like, she's basically always a human... a human who is on the side of the mutants. She's always, like, a helpful ally, is what the word I'm looking for. And she's always been a human. And apparently, this is the first time she's ever been a mutant. So this is
interesting.
This is that reveal.
Okay, wow.
That she is actually a mutant who has the powers of reincarnation.
Yeah.
But not reincarnation immediately.
No, she has to, like, go through the whole life cycle again.
Sort of like Groundhog Day, but your entire life.
Yeah. Which
probably would be pretty, insanity inducing.
Oh yeah.
But, Moira, she's holding on. She's a scientist at the heart of it. So she is basically experimenting, it seems like, to see what works the best and what gives us the best outcome. So the reason why I think Powers of 10 reads better after reading House of X is because a lot of the marketing, like, do you remember they had this, like, page in the marketing that they were saying this is the most important X-Men, moment in history?
No.
You don't remember that?
No.
They had a bunch of ads in a bunch of Marvel books.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about in this specific one.
Oh, no,
But you meant in the other issues.
I'm going to open to it right now. They have a bunch of ads in the Marvel books.
Yeah.
And it was this page with Moira McTaggart and Charles Xavier speaking to each other. And it said, the most important X-Men conversation in history. And when that conversation happened in Powers of 10, number 1, I was like, okay, so there's some weird shit going on here.
Yeah.
And she's some, like, time traveler at this point.
Uh-huh.
And that's okay. Okay, that's cool, I guess. But it didn't really hit hard for me. I was like, okay, weird.
I also thought, for someone who's done all that and should look like a crazy person, she looks very put together.
She does. Absolutely. I mean, I feel like she's honestly had, like, some sort of enlightenment. Like, she is wiser because of all this at this point.
Yeah, I don't think that would happen to a normal person.
Well, she's not normal. She's a mutant.
Yeah, true.
But nonetheless, this conversation hit a lot harder when it was here at the end of House of X number 2 because we now know exactly what Charles Xavier learned when he read her mind.
Yes.
Which is that she has fucking lived the same life 10 times at this point. So, Samantha, I think Powers of 10, number 1 is just giving us what this 10th life of Moira MacTaggert leads to. Like, the whole timeline of it.
Yeah.
And I think in House of X number 2, she is told that her 10th life is probably going to be her last.
Who tells her that again?
This mutant named Destiny.
Right.
So I guess she knows the destiny of everybody.
Right.
So she knows the destiny of Moira MacTaggert.
Oh, wasn't it a character who was like blind?
She's blind.
Yes.
But
yes,
she can
I remember
see.
now.
It sounds like she can see, like, their essence in some way.
Right.
I don't know. But she tells Moira MacTaggert that she only has 10 lives because somewhere near the 10th one, she can die by dying before her mutant power comes about. Comes to fruition, yes. Yeah. I think that we are going to have a lot of, looks at what the entire 10th life of Moira MacTaggert looks like through Powers of 10. Mm-hmm. I think then, at the end of this series, Moira MacTaggert is either going to make the right decision or not make the right decision. Oh. And we're going to see what life is like after this one. Mm-hmm. I think that is where Jonathan Hickman's X-Men series is going to pick up.
That would be really cool. I'm very up for that. It'd
be a really cool way to do it, and for him to have like a definite separation, but for us to already be aware of like his whole deal.
Yeah, he's making it really his own.
Yeah.
And, yeah. Cool.
But yeah, so I think it's a lot easier to grasp Powers of 10, number 1, when you think of it in the lens, like, with a separation of, okay, this is just us giving the timeline of this lifetime of Moira. And as it is affected by, what we're seeing in House of X number 2.
Right, but that 1 week where you just read Powers of 10,
yeah,
you're very confused.
Oh.
And you go through your whole week just pondering everything.
So, what do you think of, like, how they did reincarnation here? And what do you think of, like, I don't know.
It was... I forgot how it went, but I remember there's this one shot where she's at a bar, and she's, like, looking really sad. And then through each of the lives, it goes through, and it shows that same shot where she's sitting at the bar. Mm-hmm. And I think she gets, like, she looks happier, like she's enjoying being there. And then the last one, or the one before the last, she's looking at Charles Xavier, right? Mm-hmm. And then the last one, she's up there talking with him. That's right.
That's actually...
That I think was my favorite aspect of it. Just like that same shot, so she comes back to that same bar, and yeah, it was cool.
It's really cool mirroring going on between her lives. Yeah. One thing that I thought was really interesting about House of X number 2 is that, first of all, I just want to make it clear, we've been breaking this down, and I think it's really easy to sound unemotional when you're breaking things down, especially with Hickman. But emotionally speaking, I think this issue is some of the best storytelling I've seen in a single issue of comics.
Yeah.
In terms of, like, explaining a ridiculously complex topic in such a concise... Not even concise. It's not the right... It's, like, just such an easy-to-follow narrative way. It's just amazing how he does that, I think.
Also, I think there was a big shift in emotion because you start off with her, like, thinking that she's never going to really die. So she's like, oh my gosh, I have all this time and I'm just going to keep living and living. But then that character Destiny tells her, you might only live till 10. And then there's the shift of, oh my gosh, I have to, like, find the answer quick because I only have 10 lives.
Yeah.
And then you think about, well, we humans only have 1. So, I don't know. I just really liked that shift where she, like, it's like, oh my god, I only have 10. Yeah.
No, I totally feel like, because I think right after she learns that and they set her on fire, the next line.
Oh yeah, why did they set her on fire? That was crazy.
Well, at this point, she was creating a cure for mutants. They don't like that.
Right.
They're mutants. They're proud of it.
True.
So they want her to...
very violent.
No, I know, but I just thought it was funny. After this shot of them setting her on fire, the next words you read are, Moira's fourth life began with urgency.
Yeah, serious urgency, yeah.
It's like, humor is not one of the mainstays of Hickman's writing, but he can do it so well.
No, it's in there.
He's very aware of, how, deep in the dregs of, emotion he can get sometimes, and I think he knows how to lighten it up a little bit.
Yeah.
One interesting thing. So, they did this in her third life, right? And she had a fourth life, and she started, being really urgent about stuff, and she had sort of more of a sense of purpose.
Yeah.
One thing that I thought was really interesting, after we go over her fourth life, which seems to be the regular X-Men storyline, or timeline, you can see right here, they talk about how she went to Charles, they fell in love, they got married, and she was with him through the gifted years.
Yeah.
This, I'm showing Samantha the page where they go, page after Moira's fourth life starts, where they have 4 different panels of different eras of X-Men. These are all the eras of X-Men that have happened. Mm-hmm. This is the stuff I'm reading right now that was airing in the 60s. Their costumes, the team members. This is what this next one with Cyclops, Colossus, and Wolverine, Storm, Nightcrawler are the people that were famous in the late mid 80s, early 90s. That was the dealio. And then they go over into another one. I guess this is called the Phoenix 5. Don't ask me.
Okay.
And then this is, I think, the Age of Apocalypse at the end. But also that might be wrong. But the basic idea is that these are all the eras of X-Men.
Yeah.
One thing I thought that was interesting is that she, we get a look at every single one of Moira's lives up until now. Except for one. I don't know if you caught this.
No, I don't think I did.
You can see it at the chart on the back. I don't know if do you read this?
I started to, and then I was like, I'm going to skip it.
You got to read this. Because you notice that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7.
Oh, they skipped 6.
8, 9, 10. They skip 6.
Oh.
So, we talk about how Moira's fifth life, she decided aggression was the only acceptable response to the violent tendencies of man.
Right.
And then we don't get any, see what she did with her sixth life, and it ends with Bolivar Trask sending sentinels to them anyways, and killing them. On the moon, it looks like.
Yeah.
And then it just goes to her seventh life, where she kills every single one of Trask's offspring and relatives. She kills their line.
But I also think, when you have multiple lives like that, your sense of, morality and humanity kind of go out the window.
Of course.
It seemed like she was just killing these people, not caring who they are, not caring
she
how
cares
old
who
they
they are.
No, you know what I mean. They're people too, and you're just, slaughtering them.
Yeah.
So...
Well, she has seen life. She's seen death 7 times over at this point.
Right.
And
so at that point, it's nothing.
Yeah. And we don't know what happened in the sixth life. Mm-hmm. I have a prediction. I think she tried to... convince Bolivar Trask of something. I don't know, work with him in some way to get him to not be a total fucking dick.
Yeah.
But I think it failed, and she found that it was futile, so she just got rid of them.
Yeah.
And see how that went.
That would make sense.
I don't know. But we're most likely going to have more about that sixth life that we're missing.
Yeah.
So I have just one more question. So... we were told that Moira McTaggart can die if she dies as a child before her mutant power
right.
comes to place, right?
Right.
Right now, in the current House of X storyline, we are, as the timeline says back here, in her 10th life. Now, doesn't that mean that she is already survived to the point where she'll get an 11th life?
Yeah, because she's an adult.
So, yeah, she's an adult. So she definitely is going to have an 11th life,
right.
unless some shit happens.
Right.
Now, I don't know if
But wasn't that what Destiny was saying? Like, you're only going to have 10 because it's probable, like, it's pretty probable that you will die one of those times. Before your powers come?
I don't know. But we have Life 10 right here. Mm-hmm. And we are going through all the way. And, you know, she's at year 16. She enrolls at Oxford. She meets Xavier at 17. She's living past that age. So she has to make it to 11. Unless she dies in a very specific way.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's just weird to me. It says, unless she makes a choice. Which she must have to die in a very specific way after the mutant power comes about. Because if she has to make a choice, then it has to have something to do with, like, she's going to die around someone who cancels out mutant powers.
But wait, is she talking about you have to make a choice close to around the age where she does get the powers?
I don't think so. I think, thinking about it now...
Because what if she does something where she doesn't get the powers?
Well, no, so the powers are in her genetics.
But what if she gets in, like, some accident?
What?
Like, she chooses to do something, gets in some accident, and then her whole biology just like...
Possibly.
Fucked up.
I'm just thinking that this choice... No 10-year-old is going to have a choice that's going to affect the greater timeline, I feel like. I feel like this has to mean that something's going to happen where she's going to be in a situation where she's going to be out of existence completely, or she makes another choice and she'll just reincarnate again. I don't know. It's really weird to me, and we'll obviously find out more. This week, I think Powers of X number 2 is coming out. Unless it's House of X number 3.
Powers of 10?
Let's see here.
Yeah, it says
I love these
reading
little chapters. We have Powers of X number 2.
Powers of 10.
Powers of 10. Yeah. I was talking to Doug. Guys, remember Doug? We love Doug. I was talking to Doug, and he was telling me about this series. We were talking about Powers of 10. And I said, yeah, I've been liking Powers of 10. It was really, really interesting. He was like, why did you call it that? It's Powers of X. It's just really funny. And he's very mad that it is supposed to be called Powers of 10.
That's funny.
It's just really funny to me. I'm going to make fun of him more.
You got to say it the correct way every time and just piss him off.
Well, he likes the alliteration of Hoxpox.
Hoxpox?
Hoxpox. House of X, Powers of X.
Oh.
Hoxpox.
Oh, okay.
It's like the next really... It's like the new Ebola. Yeah. Hoxpox.
All right. Nice.
Okay, well, let's move on.
Yeah.
Next, we want to talk about another new exciting event series called Absolute Carnage.
I feel like this is one of my first big, like, event things.
What do you mean?
What other big events, like, have I been a part of during my short time with comics?
Wow. You know what?
Like, if you think about it, I was thinking about it. Like, I don't really know of one.
You've
like,
obviously read, like, crossover series.
Like, I was starting the
Heroes
one...
in Crisis is technically an event book.
Okay.
It's not really, like, the similar thing. Like, usually event books are, like, this is a big fucking deal that's affecting everybody.
Right. There was one that I started and I stopped. That was the, I think it was Scott Snyder, and it was the Aquaman stuff.
That was a crossover.
Okay, a crossover.
The Drowned Earth storyline of Justice League. That was a crossover. Even though Scott Snyder is saying that Justice League is a big event book.
Okay.
But, no, you're right. You haven't read, like, an event like this, like, where it's coming out, like, it's, like, 4, 6... Not 4 all the time. Sometimes 6, sometimes 12 parts. And it's, like, a big story that affects multiple parts of the universe.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is kind of it.
So it's exciting.
Yeah, so what do you think? Do you feel something different about this kind of story than, like, what usual series are like?
I don't know. It felt very similar to the Venom story.
Okay.
It was just longer and maybe a little bit more exciting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
What you think about, because in Venom, in the series, we've had, like, a big sort of revelation, a big, like, sort of deal about, you know, Eddie Brock trying to live without the symbiotes and, like, dealing with, like, being apart, sort of like a relationship, like, ending. What did you think about them just kind of joining up again?
Well, didn't they join up again when he was trying to protect his son?
Yes.
So I feel like that's not a fair thing about it, because he's, at that point, as a dad, you're like, I'm going to do whatever it takes, even if it means going back to my vice and saving my son.
I think that's true. I'm talking about more from a writer's perspective, like from a story, like plotting perspective.
It sort of seems like he's not really rid of it, and that it's going to keep coming back. I don't know.
I can understand that. I was kind of excited that his, like, Eddie's situation was, I don't have the symbiote with me, and I've had to, like, the last issue of Venom, it was him having to deal with not having the symbiote and being aware of that and everything. Right. And I really liked that, and I thought that was going to continue, like, him having to be clever to, like, stay out of harm's way.
So were you upset by it coming back?
I was a little upset that he just showed up and they just joined and it was fine. He was
but my thought is like I said, it's just a in the moment to save my son kind of thing, and then he's just gonna go back to trying to be rid of it.
But he also wasn't trying to be rid of it. The symbiote left him at the end, in Venom. It it went away.
No, I know.
So I don't know. I don't know. I just thought it was weird. I hope they reference that, like that time they had apart from each other.
Yeah.
But it was just weird to me that we spent all this time having the symbiote be weakened in Eddie, and then leaving Eddie, and then having an issue of Venom where he wasn't there, and now he's just back. And I would say it's company oversight with their big event, but this is Donny Cates writing, so I don't know why that would happen.
I don't know. I don't think that it's a negative thing. If the next issue of this continues that, and it just seems like, oh, okay, he's just back, then I might agree with you a little bit. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I just look at it as the story part, and it showed up when he needed it to.
Yeah,
and that's, I think, what was important.
I guess maybe another thing I was missing was that it didn't seem like there was any the fight scene that they have with Carnage at the beginning here doesn't seem like it's hindered at all by them being apart for a long time. And so it just feels like that didn't matter at all.
I can see that. It's just slipping right back in. No. I can see that. I
don't know. That's all I'm saying. They might reference it later on, but
I just kind of went along for the ride and didn't.
Yeah.
I don't know. When you think about it that way, it's very depressing because it's not good. But
it's not very depressing. I don't want to
think about it like that.
It's not like it's very depressing. It's not a big deal, but it's I don't know. I hope they go over something about their relationship in this at some point, but they might just be along for the ride while they're dealing with this Carnage shit. So I don't know. One thing I loved about this is I love the presence of Spider-Man in here.
Yeah, that was so fun.
Yeah.
That was a great time.
What do you think about Spider-Man? You're reading Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. You're reading Spider-Man, but I feel like sometimes it's different when you're reading characters that show up in other things, in a different context. What do you think about reading Spider-Man, in this context?
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It was just a lightness that came into it, mm-hmm. and I think that with this series, it's all very dark. And when we were at WonderCon and Donny Cates was talking, I don't remember if someone asked him this or if he said it, where it was said that his stuff a lot of times is very dark. And so I think that this was put in as a little lightness mm-hmm. to the dark. And I don't know, it was nice because it wasn't too much.
Yeah.
And it went well with it. And I liked that conversation where they were just being real with each other, and he was telling him this is my son, and mm-hmm. I don't know, it was cool.
And he's you need to tell him because he is very aware of parents not being honest with them and not having parents
because of what he went through.
Yeah,
right.
It's just, I think his presence here is really, really great. I don't think Donny Cates has written Spider-Man all that much. He wrote him in one issue of his Doctor Strange run. Mm-hmm. Other than that, I couldn't tell you whatsoever.
He does it well, I think.
He writes him very well. And sometimes that's difficult to get a kid's voice. Not even a kid at this point. I don't know, Spider-Man's voice I feel is difficult because he can't just be jokey. Even though he is a lot of times. He can't just be jokey. He has to be just sort of informal in a way that's not obvious.
Right. Informal and lighthearted and kind of naive to the darkness in some ways.
But not even naive. Here, I feel he's very,
not naive, but
wise.
Not naive, but, not giving into the darkness. He's just well, why? Why can't you just be happy? That kind of attitude.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I can see that.
Or like, look at it this way, or look at the positive way.
So what do you think about the art in this series?
I really liked it. I mean, yeah. I'm a fan of like the dark colors with the bright streaks. I like with the light, and it's just very attractive.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I'm a big fan. I think Ryan Stegman does this like goopy carnage.
It was very
like,
goopy, but
yeah.
it made sense.
No, I think it looks great. I love the goopy shit. It's really cool to me. One thing I thought was really funny and random was that two guys just go into a diner and just start robbing it when Venom and Spider-Man are randomly there.
I was very confused about that too.
It was just a random occurrence.
It was really random.
And it doesn't seem like it's there for really any reason.
No, it just happened. And then they look at Spider-Man and him and they're like, oh shit.
Like, it's fun.
It's fun, but I don't see the point.
Yeah, I don't know. And then they go to the Maker for help. We were introduced to the Maker in the Venom series, so I'm glad you've been reading that.
Yes.
One thing, I don't know if I've ever told you, but have you ever noticed that the Maker's speech bubbles are upper and lowercase as opposed to all uppercase?
No, I never noticed that.
So Doug was telling me that this is a thing that they started doing with characters from the Ultimate Universe. So what
is the Ultimate Universe?
The Ultimate Universe is it's another universe of Marvel, in the Marvel multiverse, where they've told a lot of different stories. The Maker is Reed Richards from that universe, and he is obsessed with technology and the attainment of knowledge. Mm-hmm. Reed Richards, by the way, I don't know if you knew this, is like the smartest person in the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
He's a genius. So this guy is a genius as well. But yeah, I just think this series is really, really great so far. I would not think I would enjoy this series all that much, honestly. And it's just, I don't know. It's a really nice surprise to have that sort of thing be really, really great quality. The last scene, did you know who this was, this reveal?
Can I look at it again?
Yes, of course. So we had this reveal. They were getting this guy.
He looked very jokery, but wasn't it Norman?
Norman Osborn.
Right, Norman Osborn.
Do you know who that is?
I forgot, but you told me, but I forgot.
He's nuts. He's the Green Goblin.
Right,
one of Spider-Man's oldest villains.
And quick story about that, because I remember when you were telling me that he was the Green Goblin. I remember seeing that first Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
And the Green Goblin gave me nightmares for 2 weeks.
I can understand that.
Like, out of all the villains, and that was like the movie that gave me the most nightmares of any movie I've ever seen.
I mean, to be fair, they did cast Willem Dafoe as Green Goblin.
And
his face terrifying face.
Yes, it was definitely his face.
But the mask, too, was very, very scary, and it's like, I don't know. Some people give it crap because it had the permanent O face, and it didn't move. So that was a little difficult to get around. But as a child, I thought that was just really scary. And I don't know if you know how the Green Goblin is drawn in comics, but he's drawn with this, like, dynamic, like, it almost looks like facial makeup. It looks like he has a goblin face, and it moves with him.
That's cool.
So it's a little different.
That's very different.
Oh, yeah. It would have been weird and CGI'd if they tried to do that in the thing.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, Norman is looking very crazy these days, and Spider-Man and Venom are trying to save him from the asylum, from Carnage, and, he's just being nuts.
But then doesn't he like, rips himself open
at
some point?
I was wondering about that, and I was trying to... That actually comes before we see Norman. It's like, it's this section, this dude.
Yeah.
So, I don't know who that dude is. Look at this.
Yeah, who is that? That's what I want to know.
Like, he's coming down the hallway, he's singing this song. I thought that was Norman Osborn. Oh, actually, wait, isn't it the dude that was leading him there?
No.
No?
No, because I think while he's leading him there, this guy's singing.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know who this dude is walking down the hallway. If anyone knows, just, tweet us. We're on Twitter. It's fun. But yeah, he has a bunch of maggots. He, like, opens a hole in his chest, and it's scary. But I don't think that's Norman Osborn for some reason. He has red hair. He's flicking symbiotes on everybody. Oh, that's Cletus Cassidy.
Ah, okay.
That's Cletus Cassidy.
Okay, you don't need to tweet us.
You don't have to tweet us. Stop it.
We're dumb.
Don't say it. We're stupid. Okay, yeah, that's Cletus Cassidy. He looks like an insane person, just like Norman Osborn. So there you go. So we see Norman Osborn. He looks creepy as shit, and they get Norman Osborn, and they make like this. Though this is the dude that was leading them,
right?
And the final reveal is that he's making friends.
Yeah.
Shit's going down, and Carnage is scary. Samantha,
I have to admit, I didn't think I'd like this that much.
Why?
Well, I think not just this. I'm talking about the whole Venom thing.
Yeah.
In general, I don't know. When you talk about it from like the perspective that someone who isn't into comics kind of hears about it, I don't know. It didn't seem that interesting.
Okay, tell us your judgments. Like, what did it feel like? What did it seem like?
It just seemed very stupid.
Yeah.
Like this black goop thing takes over you and you're just crazy and your tongue is going everywhere.
To me, it always seemed like shock jockey, like, just let's be awesome, and it looks awesome.
Right.
It's metal.
And like metal,
fucking
yes.
shit, man.
Yeah, exactly.
And to be fair, Donny Cates kind of gives out that vibe sometimes.
I don't know, because that was my view before I started reading his run on Venom. And then that all changed.
I'm just talking about how Donny Cates looks. He looks very metal.
Yeah, he does.
You know what I mean?
But he looks awesome. And he infuses Venom with so many like human emotional stakes that really tie you into it. Right.
And it's so great. And I think it continues to do that in Absolute Carnage.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm really, really excited. Huge issue, by the way.
Yeah, it was long.
I was not expecting that. Nonetheless, we had another series come out this week by Donny Cates called Baby Teeth number 15. It has been so long.
It's been a very, very, very long time.
It's insane. I just got this up on your phone since I don't have mine with me. The last issue came out. Can you just give me a guess when you think it came out? It is August 6th.
It's August 6th right now.
Or August 11th. Sorry.
Okay, August 11th.
12th?
I don't know. Yeah, no, it's the 12th, right? I'm guessing April?
January 2019.
Wow.
Yeah. That's a long time. 8 months we have not had another series.
I mean, I get it, because he's working on a lot of other stuff, but...
Yeah.
But this one is very close to my heart.
It's very good.
It's very good.
This book is about a woman who... A 16-year-old... Sorry, not even a woman. A girl. A 16-year-old girl who becomes pregnant and finds out her baby is the Antichrist. A lot of what it's about is about motherhood, about dealing with, like, you know, the trials of motherhood and dealing with, like, you know, you knowing what's best for your baby, taking direction from others, having your parents help. It's about a lot of things. And basically, the best thing about it is that while it's about, you know, a apocalyptic, crazy magic, you know, hell stuff, it's just about people trying to do the best they can.
Right.
So, what did you think about our return to form here? The last time we left these people, they were in hell, and they had met Satan.
Right, and he had said he's not the father.
He's not the father, and that the real asshole, God, is up there.
Father.
It was very, and Satan was very convincing about, you know, being a pretty chill dude.
Yeah.
What'd you think about the reveal here?
Yeah, shit got fucked up.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. It was a lot.
I honestly feel really stupid for believing that Satan was a good guy.
I didn't believe he was a good guy.
Really?
Yeah, because that's what he does. It's trickery. He's tricking them.
But he seems so cool.
He did seem cool, but that was all a ploy, and I knew it. But, oh God, when they killed his father at the end, her father at the end, that was really heartbreaking, because he was a big part of the story up until now. Like, a really big part.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, it was just a shock that, you know, it's been 8 months since we've visited this story, and then they just kill off a big character. Like, okay, wow.
Yeah. I'm wondering if we're getting to the end of this series.
That's what I'm thinking, that this is the last, what is it called?
Arc?
Arc.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, yeah, it turns out that Satan just needed them to open a portal back home long enough for his army to get through.
Yeah.
So now he's going to take over the world, apparently.
Yep.
So that's fun.
Didn't he say something at the end, though? There was, like, at the last...
Daddy's home?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was he just saying, like, his kids in general, or was he alluding to the fact that he actually might be the father?
He is the father.
Okay.
That was a complete lie.
Yes, okay.
He's totally the father.
He's
and
totally the father.
The son did exactly what he was meant to do. He brought forth the end of the world.
Yeah.
So...
Poor kid.
Poor kid.
Didn't even know what he was doing.
It's not his fault.
It's not.
Yeah.
That was so sad when the sister was like, I know the way to make him upset. So she brings out that what was it? Something flying.
I'm trying to find it. It was
like a dragon, right?
Was it a dragon? They got the portal. Where do they open
This thing? No.
Where do they open the portal?
Oh no, this guy. Not a dragon. He's that guy with the wings. He looks like...
No, she leaves him.
That's how she... Okay.
She leaves him and he cries and then the portal opens.
Yeah.
The dragon does take her away.
Yeah.
So I understand where that came from for sure.
Okay, yeah.
This dragon who's been with us for a long time too,
right,
is dead too.
Yeah.
Very sad. Oh my god. It's just everything is tied to their experiences as a family.
But also it's going to be very different because now that the mom and him are reunited, like, she hasn't been with him for a very long time.
Oh, yeah.
The sister's been raising him.
Yeah.
In this crazy universe, crazy world right now, wherever they are.
Yeah.
And, so that'll be interesting. And they've lost the father.
Mm-hmm.
So. And the sister pushed her back out through the portal so she wasn't able to save her father. So I think there's going to be a little bit of resentment there.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, they're pretty close, and I feel like they would know that she's more important than the dad.
Yeah, but I don't know.
I mean, you never know. Donny Cates goes so many places with these things. I'll just take it as it comes.
Yeah.
We also had another series return after a while, which was Die by Kieran Gillen and Stephanie Hans. Mm-hmm. I love this series. It's so good. This series is a bunch of kids get sucked into a tabletop RPG. Jumanji style. And as adults, they are brought back and they are, getting fucked up a little bit. Mm-hmm. This issue was them trying to escape from this destroyed town, and they needed to find a way to get enough of the currency to leave this place. And one way was that someone could leave behind their dog, their companion, in order to not have to spend as much money to get everyone out safely.
It would be one less person,
one
basically.
Less. Now, someone as a dog person, I'm sure that probably hit pretty hard with you.
It really did. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was very sad.
Like, imagine being told that the only way that you can survive, along with the group that you're with...
I wouldn't do it.
...is by leaving your... But what if you were aware that the dog wasn't real?
Oh. I don't know.
Does that mean... I mean, it obviously doesn't make any, amount of emotion that you... or attachment you have any less real, because you've spent time with this companion... You've developed a relationship, but does that make it easier? They say later that she can just bring him back, but does that mean does that make the loss any easier? Does that make having to lose them again any easier? Probably not.
No.
I don't know. It's stuff like this that Die succeeds in so much.
Well, because I think that, at the beginning it was hard for me to grasp the whole, what kind of thing is it?
Concept?
The concept of,
Dungeons and Dragons?
Yeah, like the Dungeons and Dragons kind of aspect of it.
Well, we don't play it all that often.
No, so it just, at the beginning it was kind of like, I don't really know if I care. But when you get the individual stories of each person, it's good.
Yeah. Everyone from the dictator who can tell people what to think to the grief knight who takes people's griefs and uses his own grief to murder people.
Yeah.
It's just, all of it is tied to the character work in here. Mm-hmm. And that's what really makes it successful, I think.
Yeah.
Well, but yeah, and at the end here, we get a reveal that they can have progeny in this universe, like children. So, yeah that's going to be a whole other thing.
And it's this older woman?
Yeah, because she's been there since they were kids in there. Were kids. So, yeah, I don't know what's going to go down here, but it's going to be... This series just continues to be great. I would go out and read it if you have not yet. Honestly, did you read this thing at the back? I didn't read it yet. I need to. Fucking Kieran Gillen does this at the end of every single issue. It's insane.
I think he mentioned something about the loss of the dog, because he was saying that he had a cat in there, and then when he had to put the cat down, it was really tough.
Yeah.
So I think if I remember that correctly, he was mentioning like that he can relate to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, do you want to... I just want a quick word. Then we're going to wrap up.
Okay.
Berserker Unbound by Jeff Lemire and Mike B. Deodato Jr. I really want to know your thoughts.
It was beautiful. I don't know.
I agree.
Okay. That was kind of my thing. Like, yeah, it was pretty. It was cool. But, like, I don't really care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, part of me wants to continue because I know Jeff Lemire writes really...
I do want to continue.
You do?
Because it's Jeff Lemire. I want to give it one more. This is
only a 4-part series. If you give it one more, we're halfway through.
I know, but I believe in him. And everything I've read of his, I've liked so far.
Yeah.
So I don't... I just want to do it.
When I was first, like, hearing about this series...
Plus, also, the concept I don't care about at all. Like, the idea of it.
The concept is Conan the Barbarian. Conan the Barbarian
Conan the Barbarian comes into, like, the real world here. Which sounds really dumb.
It sounds like an 80s, like,
yeah,
comedy.
Exactly.
Fish out of water, run-of-the-mill, whatever.
But that's why I feel like he knows that sounds like that, and he's going to go somewhere cool with it.
Well,
so
that's why I
continue.
That's what I thought they were going to do in this first issue. But they didn't do anything out of the thing. Like, he went to that magic place, and that was kind of cool how he got there, I guess. I assume they're going to build on that a little bit.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. The art is fucking gorgeous.
Yeah.
And it's not like it's not fun to read. I just don't care.
I know.
In Lemire we trust.
Jeff Lemire. In Lemire we trust. That's... Again, if this was written by someone that we didn't know, or that we were like, their stuff is okay, whatever.
Yeah.
But this is Lemire, and I've liked everything else I've read by him.
Yeah.
So, I think we should continue.
Okay. I mean, you're the boss. You're the boss.
I'm not the boss.
Okay. Well, I think that is going to do it for this week. In terms of our weekly books, Samantha, do you want to talk about what we have coming up next week? Some exciting things.
This week.
Sorry, this week. This Wednesday.
Week. In 2 days.
Yes.
We have another Black Hammer Justice League.
Yes.
The Hammer of Justice, number 2. Cool.
So excited.
That's fun. We have Detective Comics, number 1009.
Start a Mr. Freeze story.
I don't think I've ever read anything with him before.
I've read, like, one thing, I think.
That's cool.
I'm
okay.
excited.
Silver Surfer.
Do you know Mr. Freeze's deal?
No, I feel like I have read something with him. Shoot, what was it?
I couldn't tell you.
There was definitely something. Okay. I'll have to find it.
Okay, find it.
I know there was something. Okay, anyway. Sorry, what were you asking?
I was asking you if you know what Mr. Freeze's deal is.
Isn't he some scientist?
He's a scientist.
Yeah. And that's all I remember.
He is a bad guy he's a bad guy having to do with the cold because his wife is frozen.
Right.
And he froze her so that he can have time to find a cure for her disease.
Yeah, I remember that.
And
we did read that somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure we did. Sorry.
That's okay. No, I believe you. I'm sure it's somewhere, but
yeah,
I don't remember a lot of things with Mr. Freeze that I've read.
That you've written.
That I've written.
Okay, so yeah, we have Silver Surfer, the Prodigal Son, the second part.
Do you remember the Fantastic Four, the Prodigal Son, with that character Prodigal?
Did I read that?
Yes, you did. You really liked the character. He was like this alien dude that crash landed on Earth, and he was with the Fantastic Four, and he was like all like high and mighty and like king. I'm a king, and you can't talk to me like that. And
yeah.
And he then went off.
Yes.
You liked it, I think, a lot.
I did.
This is written by Peter David. This is the second part, which is Silver Surfer, the Prodigal Son. They're interacting now.
Cool.
So yeah.
Cool. Okay.
We also have Silver Surfer Black. The third part of that one. Another Silver Surfer.
Which is very poetic and very abstract.
Oh, yeah.
I like it. It's kind of like you're on acid and you're just reading something.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun. It's a trip. We have Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, number 10.
Oh, yeah.
Gideon Falls, number 16.
Mm-hmm.
Are we nearing the end of that? I
Good-
feel like we
good
are,
part.
and...
I feel like we've been nearing the end for the last, like, 8 issues.
Yeah, no, I do too. But then that also kind of, like, makes me anxious when I'm reading it because I'm expecting it to just end.
I know, but that's good that you don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, but still, the anxiety.
I know.
Invaders, number 8.
Mm-hmm.
Outer Darkness, number 9. I'm really loving that. That's a really great series.
Big fan.
Oblivion Song, number 18. I'm
kind
hoping...
of souring on that one.
Yeah, I'm hoping that it gets back to what it was.
Yeah.
Because...
It's going to take another couple issues of me not liking it that much, of me saying I'm just going to stop it.
I really hope it doesn't continue that way, because I really did love it.
I know, it's been great.
It was one of my, like, favorites that we were reading.
Yeah.
And then it kind of just
I just feel like it hasn't been doing much at all, and I don't really care for what they are doing.
It feels like they're staying on what the people with no face, what is it?
Yeah, Faceless Men.
The Faceless Men, and they're just kind of, like, harping on it, and just like, it's there! Oh my god, it's there!
Are they evil?
There.
Are they not evil?
Right.
They're not evil!
But nothing's actually happening.
Yeah.
So, yeah. We have Powers of 10, number 2.
Yes.
I guess I'll get ready mentally for that. What's White Trees?
This is a new one from Chip Zdarsky, not a Marvel one.
Is that his real name, Chip?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe it's not.
Okay.
Chip Zdarsky, though, has been showing great work on Daredevil, Invaders, on Spider-Man Life Story. He's been really honing in on his craft in terms of dramatic storytelling. And this is a fantasy book. It's only a 2-parter.
Oh, then we're definitely getting it.
Yeah. Oh, we're definitely...
Yeah.
Okay. I'm really excited. It's a 2-parter. It's a fantasy story about, retired warriors who have to, I guess, save their come back together to save their families from something. I don't know.
Cool.
I think the art looks cool. I was talking to Doug about this. He doesn't like the guy who was on art, who is... Oh, crap. I forgot who it was. But I think it looks cool. I'm really excited. So yeah, I'm happy that you'll join along with me.
Yes, very excited.
Okay. So I think that's going to about do it for this week. If you made it this far, thank you so much for listening. Pretty please. Pretty please, with a cherry on top. Give us this review, a star rating on iTunes. It's very easy. You can do it, please. But if you enjoyed what you heard, let someone know about us with your mouth or with your mouse. We release episodes weekly on Sundays, so be sure to check back in next week. Sometimes we're a little late, not on the Sunday
and
train.
Today's a Monday.
Hence, yeah, today's going to be up on Monday. But it's okay, because we'll get there.
Because we have lives, people.
Exactly. We'll get there at some point, and honestly, you won't even know the difference if you just subscribe.
Yeah.
And it'll just show up in your phone. It'll be great. Samantha, do you want to say the second part of our outro, or no? Chris Anka.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. Chris Anka is the guy who does art on
what else
White
has he
Trees.
done?
Good question.
Okay. Never mind.
Oh, by the way, for the folks at home, I say good question when I don't have an answer to that question. Because it's a good question, and sometimes the best questions have no answer.
I mean, it probably does have an answer, you just don't know it.
Maybe he's just a made-up person. Who knows?
Okay. Well, you can subscribe, right?
Yeah.
To on many different podcast apps. Like, what do we have here? iTunes, we have Stitcher, we have Spotify, Google Play Music. So whatever podcast app you prefer, we've got you
covered.
Nice. You can also find web archives of previous episodes at comicscovered.libsyn.com. and on our YouTube channel. We are on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook under the handle @comicscovered. And if you want to get a hold of us with a question or feedback or tell us we're dumb or anything for certain things, just come on, tell us we're dumb. Send us a message on social media or email to comicscovered@gmail.com. So, gracias. Thank you for listening. I'm Samantha.
And I'm a blue bonnet.
Aw, cute.
And this has been Comics Covered. Thank you.